So Jen, I know you meet with the city council on occasion. Tell me what that's like.
I actually hate it. I go in that room and it's like a dentist office, and they're all sitting up there like the Star Chamber.
Yeah.
It's getting better, but it's really hard. I went in last week and I played a song.
Really?
Yeah. I've been in there 3 weeks in a row now. They're starting to get to know me. They're calling me by name. I inadvertently, I didn't mean to, but I kind of insulted Kevin Johnson. I call him Kevin.
Yeah.
And then I watched myself on the tape.
Does he want to be called Mr. Mayor?
Well, I think I should call him Mayor Johnson.
Okay.
And he's actually a very personable guy.
Yeah.
And it's easy to like him. But so I went in there kind of like this, and then I realized it's not so bad, you know. And I don't know much about him at this point, but
I know he's for green energy. Wants to create lots of green jobs.
He's a politician, first of all.
And he wants to help the Sacramento Kings as much as possible. He wants to help the Kings,
but he told me, he said on the record, I've been a supporter of Safeground for 5 years.
Okay.
So he wasn't there last week, but I'm gonna go in every week. There are other people who have been going in there a lot longer.
Mm-hmm. Is the Safeground issue the main reason you're going in?
That's why I'm in it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm there to support all, like, I'm there in spirit to support Loaves and Fishes and Shock and the Men's Empowerment Group and the St. Lutheran's Church and everybody, but I have to dance around one pole to make an impact.
Okay.
So I want to see Safeground get off the ground.
So tell us what Safeground is.
Safeground is an idea. It's a nonprofit, actually, not just an idea. They already have the blueprint, the plans. They need land, and they want to put these cabins, which they're small, and there's a model cabin you can view at 12th and C Street. It was made by Habitat for Humanity, and they want to put one cabin or 40 cabins on 2 acres, something of that nature. They're looking for the land. Mark Marin is the civil rights attorney who is behind the Safeground. It's safegroundsac.org. If you go look it up. And Steve Waters is the executive director. I'm meeting with him next week to get an overview and learn more about what's going on. And they're homes for the homeless. They're out here in the rain and the wind and the snow. Well, we don't have snow here, but they're out here in the heat. There's a lot of mentally ill. They got their lives in a cart.
And they're not allowed to be anywhere.
They're not allowed to be on public or private property, if you can imagine that. They're not allowed to be anywhere.
Wow.
It's I can't believe that there aren't thousands of people showing up at the
That's
city
a pretty
council.
Cold-blooded law.
It's beyond cold-blooded. I mean, it's like, you know, and their things are taken, and they can't store anything. They've got it's insane. I'm surprised there's a bench here right now, because they've set it up so that the homeless can't even lay down or sit or anything. So in Costa Rica, there are no homeless because the people can squat on your property, and you have a duty to help that person who squats on your property. We don't have that law here, but we should have a duty to help people who are in need. A lot of people are falling on hard times. Imagine you lose your job, or you become mentally ill, or your sister has cancer, and you just spent your last dime, and you could end up in the street. And you need a shelter, you need a home, you need something, and you certainly can't get first together, last month's rent, and trying to be that perfect tenant that Nielsen Properties wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know if I should name people, but I don't even qualify, for Nielsen Properties. They shooed me out of there. Oh, I'm sorry, you got a bankruptcy.
Everything's become about money, and that's
It's about being perfect. Yeah. They even ask people for their credit history to get a job as a server in a restaurant. It's insane.
Right.
And then, and then if you get caught up in a misdemeanor of some kind, you're going to pay.
Ostracized.
Well, you're going to pay for all kinds of classes and your time in jail and work project, and it's insane what happens to people when they do get into some sort of trouble.
So what are they trying to do? Like just get rid of everybody and only let the cream of the crop have a job and a good place to live?
I think they're just trying to keep people. I really think that the revenue for cities and counties and states is coming off the backs of the poor.
Yeah.
And it's time for people to pay attention to what's going on. And when you look at when you see people ignored, human beings ignored on the street, that could be you, and that shouldn't be your motivation. You know, like, oh, that could be me. Just because there's another human being on the street. If you go into your house tonight, and you close the door and you curl up in your velour blankets, and they're out on the street freezing. And it's October, right?
Yeah.
It's going to become November, December, and I've already written. I went to town one day and I wrote like 8 pages. Now I only get 2 minutes to speak each week, so they're going to see me for the next 6 months.
Really?
You know?
How often?
Which is ridiculous. I only get 2 minutes.
How often
Somebody
do you go
shortened
there?
it. I've been going every Tuesday.
Okay.
And they used to have 5 minutes that you got to speak. Now you get 2.
So how did you show
2
up?
minutes
Did you
because
show
I
up with your guitar one day and say, I'm going to use these 2 minutes to sing a song?
Well, I spoke the first week. The second, I promoted the Safeground show. We raised like $550 over at Luna's. And then I went in the next week to give a couple CDs to the 2 people on board that are on board with Safeground. And then I told them, and that's when I kind of blew it. I pointed and I said, Kevin, I call him Kevin. I said, when you're on board, I'll give you a CD. And he goes, no, I'm good. And I was like, wow, ouch. You know, and then I realized I watched myself on tape and I was like, oh man, you're kind of an ogre here. So I went back this week and I said, look, I'm really sorry. I should have said Mayor Johnson. And that won them over. And then I sang a song. Because I told them I would.
All right.
I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know.
It's always unpredictable, right?
Yeah, I might sing, I might talk, but I do have 8 pages in 12 font. Or is it 8? I don't know, 8 font. I wrote like crazy. And I have an idea to say everything I want to say in these 8 pages. And then if they still don't move on the matter, tell them I'm going to post this. And I don't know if I can. I guess you post it in the Bee as an open letter.
Okay.
And you embarrass the city council maybe.
Okay.
And you have to pay for it. Is that as an advertisement? That's an idea I have, to post an open letter, get tons of signatures. We want shelter for the homeless. We're tired of seeing people suffering as Sacramento citizens, and get as many people as I can to sign this letter. I've seen it before. That's another idea, but you know, I don't know. I'll run that by you.
Good work.
Good work.
I mean, it sounds like they're receptive in what you're telling me.
They were smiling more this week. They were more receptive this week. Like when I walked up, Angelique Ashby, who was running the meeting because Kevin Johnson wasn't there, she says, hi Jen. She called me by. She goes, well, it just gets better and better every week because I brought my guitar.
Oh, I was going to say, but
and I sang a little bit of Torah. And a lady attacked me, actually. This lady turned and hated my song and called all the homeless imposters. And she was very offended.
Wow.
It's on the tape. It's on the meeting. And she was homeless before. And I thought, wow, this is going to be a long road. I've got a former homeless person that's, you know, yelling at me in this meeting. This is going to be a long road. But
were there many other people there?
well, there's people that are joining me. Well, they've been going all along. There's Tracy Bailey, who's a great speaker. She used to be homeless herself. We're now forming a little group. Our group is like 3, 4, 5, 6. We got Leon now. He's speaking, and
so the group keeps growing.
it's growing. We have T-shirts. I think Steve Waters might come next week. And I've even thought about, hey, maybe I'll hit up all my musician friends who have played 2 shows now, ask them to come to the meeting at 6 o'clock, fill up a couple rows. I just think if we just keep being there and hammering away.
Sure. The message will get through it.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I've never done this before. I've never actually attended city council meetings before. It's not my favorite thing to do. It's not a conducive atmosphere. It's not a warm, fuzzy, cozy atmosphere.
Jen, we'll talk more about your favorite thing to do, which is making music, in the next segment.